We're working. We're in the lab, and we're gonna make sure this happens as soon as possible.
Welcome to an episode of the Sports Genes Into the Lab podcast, where sports analysts and experts dissect the latest news from the NBA and NFL, giving you a unique view on some of the hottest topics around your favorite teams. From the fresh field smells of the NFL to the hardwood courts of the NBA, and possibly your comfy couch for your fantasy football team. Let's see what kind of news the lab is working with today. Here's your host from the Sports Analytics Headquarters in San Antonio, Texas, Ernest Silva.
All right. We are back. ITL is back in action. Head into Lab Pod is where you're watching tonight's episode. I'm your host, Ernest Silva. And if you're listening over the airwaves, we appreciate all your support on Apple Music, Amazon Music, or Spotify. Welcome to week 14, a big week for most. We have a small but mighty group. We have both producers at one point in the studio. We're down to Londo here. Londo will be joining us in just a moment. He'll actually be semi on camera. Today's episode is going to be really fun. Let's start things off. He's been here the entire year. That's right. Chris Borak, what's going on, brother?
Hey guys, glad to be back. Happy to be talking some sports. Here to rep and flaunt the CJ Stroud MVP train. So yeah, let's get this show started.
There we go. MVP Stroud in Houston. I'm a big believer in that too, Borak. So I'm with you on that. He came week 3 and he has not left, and we love it. That is right. Another Chris is on the crew today. What is going on with the Last Call podcast? Chris Connor, what's up, brother?
Not much. We just had from Ropedo Boxing, Christopher Carlson. I want to thank him. We talked some boxing. We talked some Minnesota Vikings. And, yeah, we're working on, dare I say this week, bringing in an NFL draft guy to help us make sense of all these teams that are, tanking, like the Patriots, who they should get. Caleb Williams, Drake May. It's going to be some good stuff.
Yeah, that's exciting. A lot of cool things happening to end 2023, and we're entering the holiday season, and it's my favorite time of the year. December is a fun month, not only for football, but of course for all of your family times and great bets. The BCMG guarantee did not hit again last week, but this week I have a good feeling. We got a good group. We're going to have some fun. All right, episode 19 is on our way, week 14 edition. We're going to do some news for round number 1. And after round number 1, we're going to do our NFL Primetime Pick'em. That's why you're here. That's why you come to watch. I know it. That's okay. We all know it. And then once Primetime Pick'em's over, we do our fire round picks. But first off and foremost, today's episode is brought to you by Taquito Express. All you can eat tacos for $8.99. Say code BCMG when you go to the counter, and you will get 10% off your order today. All right, let's start things off. Round number 1. Londo is here. Londo's back in studio. Producer Londo is here. What's up, man?
Ho, guys.
Out of breath as he ran up the steps. Londo, buddy, welcome back.
What's up? How's it going?
Oh man, your team has a big game this week.
I know.
All right.
I'm excited.
Very exciting stuff. All right, let's kick things off. Round number 1, news around the NFL. But before we talk NFL, we're going to talk college football. Some big things happening in college football this past weekend. Borak's very excited for a Texas team to be represented in the college football playoffs. But let's talk about it. We talked about it a little bit last week about what we would be doing if certain teams didn't make it. But for those of you who've been sleeping under a rock, some fun stuff happened, right? Michigan gets the number 1 overall seed as they won their championship. Washington gets the number 2 overall seed as they won their championship. And lo and behold, Florida State wins their championship and is not included in the college football playoffs, which Borak thinks is an absolute travesty. We're going to talk about
it is. I agree with Borak on that.
And Texas wins the Big 12. They get their 3rd seed auto bid. And then here comes Alabama upsetting number 1 overall Georgia, who had won 29 straight. And and Georgia falls 5 spots out of the college football playoffs below Florida State, and Bama becomes the 4th team in for the college football playoffs. There are your top 4: Michigan, Washington, Texas, Bama. We'll start this one off with you, Borak. Your initial reaction and thoughts on the college football playoffs.
I truly don't know how UT snuck in. I'm wearing this shirt for a reason because UT had to cheat to beat the University of Houston
Here we go.
Cougars, who haven't won too many games, probably 3 games all year. I know you don't like it, Ernest, but it is true. But Florida State getting just, I don't even know what to call it at this point.
Yeah.
To go undefeated.
You call it
Yeah. I mean, college football is scandalous already. The playoffs is a step in the right direction. As soon as they change it from 4 teams to, let's say, 16 teams, we can stop having these tough conversations. But man, Florida State going undefeated all year. I understand they have their backup to the backup quarterback, but you can clearly see that college football did this for the ratings, and they put UT in against Washington for the ratings because it would be a better game. But I truly believe Florida State should have got in, and I don't think UT should be ahead of Georgia. And I'm sorry, I don't. The SEC is a better football conference than the Big 12, and to have Georgia go undefeated all year and lose 1 game and then fall all the way to number 5, I don't agree with it.
So there's an initial reaction from Chris Borak, who does follow the Big 12 quite religiously, as his team is the Houston Cougars. So we'll start off there for his caveat. But Chris Connor, you don't have a dog in the fight. You don't follow Big 12. You don't really have like a huge school staple in that top 4. What are your thoughts, your reactions on initially for this college football playoff?
It's once again, it's the Big Ten SEC bias. We've seen that. You had to have a Big Ten team. You had to have an SEC team. Florida State got screwed. I mean, why is Michigan in the top 5? I've wondered that. It's like, okay, look at their non-conference. It's like Bowling Green, UNLV, East Carolina. There's 2 teams they play that you can argue before the championship game had more than 7 or even 6 wins. That was Penn State, Ohio State. The rest of it, it's Drek, it's Rutgers, Nebraska, Minnesota, Indiana. It's like, okay, great. They play horse crap teams, and it's like, oh, they're the number 1 team in the country. Why? Meanwhile, you have Florida State. Well, they beat LSU, who might probably has the reign, who will be the next, Heisman Award winning champ. But hey, they're number 5. It just smacks of, it's the old boy network. It smacks of, SEC and Big Ten have to be represented because they are the traditional powers. And I think this is one more step of, all right, let's get rid of the ACC. Let's just do it like soccer. We have 2 divisions. We have SEC. We got Big Ten. We're going to get rid of those Big 12 people eventually. And, yeah, everybody else, well, you can go suck on a lemon. They need to do, a 18, 16-man college playoff because, I'm sorry, 6-6 should not get into a bowl game. 6-6 means you just suck.
All right. So
Ruthless.
yeah, my turn.
Come on, man. God.
It's like a participation trophy. Yeah, let's go to the Fenway Bowl of BC. They went 6-6.
There are a ton of bowl games. Like you have, and you have so many D1 universities with football teams. Like
How many do you care about, though?
Have an end of the year game.
But you got to take the wife out, on December 26th. So, hey, let's go to the Fenway Bowl and freeze our asses off. Like, no.
Well, you'd be surprised how many people will go watch Texas State play their bowl game and in the Texas Bowl and UTSA and their bowl game. Like, you'd be surprised when people look forward to that in Texas.
The players don't care. Like, Bo Nix is not even showing up. He's like, yeah, I'm done. See you later.
But you're thinking too high up. You're thinking too high up because these bottom bowl games, this is their Super Bowl. Like, this is it for most of those seniors and juniors for their programs. So, like, it is a big deal for most of them.
Just let's focus on how UT just snuck in
so
to the playoffs.
let me go ahead and defend UT because there's too much hatred at this point on this show.
Yeah, it's not hatred.
Number one, okay, I completely agree with the Michigan take. Who did they beat? Like, it's Ohio State, and that's it. Like that for me, the bigger win is UT. UT went to Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama. So I immediately don't know why we're not talking about Michigan more because of their cupcake schedule. Like, honestly, like go look at those games. And Borek, you can roll your eyes, you can whatever you want to do, but it's true. Texas had a stronger strength of schedule. They had the 13th strongest schedule in the nation. That was before this weekend because teams got to play in their championships. And so some people would jump them like Bama. But if you look at schedule-wise, Texas was tested all year. And even in games they should have lost, they still came back and won. I know you want to point out your Houston Cougars game. That's fine. I can point out 3 Bama games. Can we talk about Auburn?
No, can you at least admit the UT Houston game?
I can admit that. I've already admitted that on many occasions. UT probably should have lost that Houston game.
Okay,
Like hands down. Alabama probably should have lost 3 more. They probably shouldn't have even been in the championship. So, yet they won 1 game against Georgia at the end of the year when they're peaking, and they're in. So I still think Texas qualifies more than Michigan and Alabama. So I'm not even questioning Texas being up there. And that's, I'm going to put my bias aside. I'm just thinking strength of schedule, points scored, and championship. Those are my 3 big things, right? Texas checkmarks all of them. Washington checkmarks all of them. Florida State does too. Now, Georgia doesn't have the championship. That's what keeps them out. But then I think Florida State should have been the 4th team because they did have that check mark. And Bama didn't have Bama does have that check mark, but they have losses to teams above them, and there's 3 undefeated teams. So you put Texas as number 4 and keep the other 3 there. Georgia should have fallen out. Georgia should be 5, Bama should be 6, or Bama 5, Georgia 6, depending how much weight you carry with a championship. That should be the rankings. Now, the only reason I think they got this right is because of the clause that says in the college football playoff pick'em, the clause that says injuries are considered for college teams to qualify for the playoffs. If that clause was not in there, then I would say they absolutely did a travesty to Florida State.
Oh, they still did travesty. Let's call it what it is. I mean, even Rodemaker. I mean, if you put Florida State with their defense against Michigan with Rodemaker, I'd still take Florida State. Let's face it. I have a big question I want to know is, we know Texas is now going to the SEC. We know it's the middle finger to Brett Yormark. I've heard a rumor. I just want to confirm this rumor that Ernest Silva, I heard, was at the Texas game, and he was also chanting SEC and booing Brett Yormark. Is that true? Were you one of those guys throwing stuff at Brett Yormark going, "You suck"?
I wasn't there. I have a family and a life, but I will say this.
I'll corroborate the story.
Thanks, Londo. Appreciate you, Santa Londo in the house. I will say this. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. FSU Georgia. If that's the bowl game, what's the spread?
Oh, I mean, look, Frank, I'm not saying FSU is going to beat Georgia. My point was they deserve to be in the college football playoffs. And I completely agree. Georgia would annihilate them.
It'd be a blowout.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, I think, look.
No, it would be. Come on, stop
FSU's defense is loaded. That's a
stop
NFL
it.
level.
Stop it.
Their defense, look at their front 4, and all of them are NFL draft pick caliber.
If you're telling me right now that FSU would have a chance at beating Georgia or come close in that game, then they absolutely should be the 4 seed.
They should.
They wouldn't. No.
But they're not. They would get pulverized.
They would.
They beat LSU, who is one of the best of the SEC, and has the friggin' Heisman Award winner.
Who was their quarterback for that game?
It doesn't matter, bro.
It does matter.
Rodemaker is decent enough. It's not like, you keep making this out to be
hold on. Chris, who would Louisville give Georgia a run?
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, you're making that Georgia out to be like, oh yeah, for the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, let's face it, this is an Alabama team that was lucky to be in this position because they got a Hail Mary on their last play against Auburn, who was 6-6.
I'm not debating that. I'm saying
And Alabama whooped basically Georgia's butt. So it's I'm sorry, I don't give this Georgia.
All I'm saying is that you need offense to compete against the top tier teams to go along with your defense. Louisville is not a top caliber program. They're not top 8. And you only scored 16 points against a Louisville defense that's subpar.
They are. And their offense is
Texas's
pretty average.
Engine was purring against a team similarly ranked in their Big 12 championship game.
Does anybody play defense in the Big 12? I'm just curious. I mean, or is it just like, yeah, it's wide open, let's just throw. Oh yeah, nobody can cover 3.
Even if you want to call out the Michigan game, even if you want to call out the Oregon-Washington game, all of them had more points.
Yeah.
Play defense.
Florida State. Florida State is not the 2001 Baltimore Ravens.
So to rein us back in, Ernest, I agree with you. Brought up a good point with the clause. I can definitely see. It is obvious that they wanted the better matchup. I mean, it's just for ratings, and I can get behind your point with Michigan. You brought up some good points for UT versus Michigan. I struggle with the argument against Bama because Bama is the SEC champion, and whether we all like it or not, SEC is the top football conference in college football. And so you're left with Georgia versus UT, and Georgia stumbling that far down. It's close.
Is that Texas beat Bama in Tuscaloosa? Like
I know, but Texas almost lost to Houston and lost to Oklahoma.
No, but they handled Bama in Tuscaloosa. Like Bama was not within single digits. Like you
I know, but that goes out the window when they win the championship for the SEC.
I think it bolsters Texas. Like Texas beat the SEC champion. Texas is an SEC champion at that point because they beat the best SEC team.
Well, not necessarily because they lost to Oklahoma.
Well, then Oklahoma's an SEC champion. We'll move on. We have our first fantasy football question. So let's transition that, and then we will go right into some NFL headlines. Our first fantasy football question brought to you by BetUS. Use code BCMG today. Get 150% matchup on your initial deposit. Chandler Constantino joining us from YouTube. Would you start Purdy versus Seattle or Josh Allen versus Kansas City? We'll start with Chris Connor on this one.
Probably Purdy. Just because I think the Kansas City defense will give Josh Allen trouble just because they can't run the ball. Seattle's defense has been horrible. So, yeah, I would start Purdy just because I think, he'll put up points.
All right, we got a Purdy pick from Chris Connor on this one. Chris Borek.
Man, this is tough. I actually going to lean with Purdy. And the only reason is Josh Allen makes me real nervous with turnovers when they're on the road at Arrowhead. And Kansas City defense has really played well at Arrowhead. Whenever they leave Arrowhead, they haven't played so hot. So, the thing that scares me about Josh Allen is he's not using his legs right now, and that's what makes him a top-tier fantasy quarterback. Purdy is he's not missing plays. And that Seattle secondary is banged up, and I expect Purdy to do well at home versus Seattle.
I will give you the devil's advocate to all this, Chandler. Josh Allen, extra time to rest against Kansas City. He had a bye week as well. Going to Arrowhead's tough, but it's always been personal for Josh Allen against Kansas City. Personal games, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, they play quite a bit over their head. Got to think that the game plan is going to be working well for them. And Kansas City, under a lot of scrutiny, is going to come out and trying to play. They both need this game, so there's going to be a lot of passing. So that's the only caveat is I know if San Francisco busts out to a 28-3 lead over Seattle, they're going to run that thing out. And you're going to have like a 2.5 quarter performance from Purdy when you're going to have possibly an overtime game for Josh Allen. So who's going to be flinging the ball? I probably
Does that scare you though?
Yeah, because you're probably going to get 2 picks out of it. Yeah, it does. But 4
That's
touchdowns,
what
2
scares
picks,
me.
I probably, and 400 yards. That's what I'm predicting for Allen this week. I probably would lean Allen personally, especially if he's been your starter all year and you've had Purdy on your bench, which is a good problem to have. So, congratulations to you. You're probably in first place.
Yeah, I would say if it comes down to a personal decision, I think Josh Allen is a better talent. I'm just concerned he's going to turn the ball over. But if he uses his legs and they come out and they have a game plan where they're going to just pound the ball and they're going to decide Josh Allen's going to need to run the ball to win this game, which I think is the only way they win this game. If you believe that, I think you should go with Allen. But if you think it's going to be a turnover city like Buffalo has been playing, the safe choice is Purdy.
Chris Conner, I'll give you the last call on this one for this take. Bigger chance of getting a quarterback sneak into the end zone, Allen or Purdy in this week's matchup?
Probably Allen. Just as I said, though, Seattle's defense can't stop anything. I mean, they are literally almost like Swiss cheese at this point. And you just worry with Allen, A, will he get injured? And B, fumbles and interceptions. He does that a lot. And this is the Kansas City defense that knows how to get after him. As I said, I just think Purdy will be cleaner. Allen might throw 2 touchdowns, and he also might get an interception, a fumble loss, and I think Purdy's going to have a cleaner sheet.
Londo, Allen or Purdy?
I go with Purdy, man.
All right, Purdy has the win here, 3-1 over me. Thank you for the question, Chandler. Good luck to you this week. And I will say this: Kansas City did make Jordan Love look like the second coming of Aaron Rodgers. So
that is true.
All right. Trevor Lawrence is the subject of conversation. Gets hurt at the end of last week's Monday Night Football game. Cincinnati pulls the upset last week. Trevor Lawrence, not a top 5 quarterback. And that debate's been settled. But
Yep.
they couldn't find a cart in Florida. They could not find a cart for him to get rolled out of the stadium. He had to walk out on his hurt ankle. Guys, how big is this for the Jags, and how awesome is it for the Texans? I'll start with you, Borak.
I didn't want it to come out like this. Like, I wanted the Texans to take this division. They should have won last week. They missed their opportunity.
Hold on, Borak. I don't think we can hear you. Yeah, I think. Hold on.
Give me a hell yeah!
Sorry, I think we got it.
So I thought the Texans missed their opportunity to take a stranglehold of that division, and I think, in all seriousness, CJ Stroud missed an opportunity to take a stranglehold on MVP conversation. They should have beat the Jaguars, but they didn't come out and play well in the first half. But Nick Khan not having a cart for his football players is absolutely ridiculous, especially for your franchise quarterback. Like, dude, come on. It sucks. The Texans lost Tank Dell. I poured one out for Tank Dell with the broken leg. He's done for the year. Obviously, this hurts the Jaguars. Dude, CJ Beathard, I don't know how they're going to compete this week in Cleveland. Like, that is going to be an absolute dumpster fire going up against that defense and having no weapons. That's going to hurt. And so this obviously helps the Texans, and it sucks for Jaguar fans.
Chris Conner, your feelings on Trevor Lawrence and the future of the Jags this season?
I still think, look, it's still the Jaguars. So unfortunately, Nick Khan, he screws up everything from AEW to the soccer team, Fulham, to the Jaguars. Can't the dad send him away? I mean, it's a shame with the Jaguars because they were just on that cusp of getting the number 1 seed where they could then take over. I still think they'll be the 4th because I just don't know if Houston can keep this up with no Tank Dell. Teams that will start double teaming Collins, and they're still a young team, so they will bound to have a game here, but they should lose, a la Carolina Panthers. But yeah, you feel bad because this could have been a special season for the Jaguars, and between Lawrence's injury and Kirk being out, they feel like, all right, they might be a one and done team in the playoffs.
Okay, so obviously I'm not going to keep, you guys have hit the nail on the head, right? It's a huge blow. And I think for Jaguar fans and for those that care to listen to this show, you play the Browns this week. If you have some sort of chance to play, do you play Lawrence?
Well, they're going to have to, because listen to their upcoming schedule. They play Cleveland this week. Then they play Baltimore at Baltimore. No, I'm sorry. They play Cleveland at Cleveland. Then they play Baltimore at home. And Trevor's not going to be back for the Baltimore game. Then they play Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is not going to be an easy game if Trevor Lawrence is not there. Then you have Carolina and then Tennessee. Carolina, they should be beat even without Trevor Lawrence, but that Tennessee game is going to be a divisional game.
So you have 4 toss-up games, and without Lawrence, definitely on the wrong side of those games without Lawrence.
Exactly. And then Houston, their schedule lightens up. It's almost an absolute. I mean, they play the Titans twice,
right?
And they play the Jets this week, and then they have the Colts to finish out. Now the Colts are sneaking in that division; they're still hanging around,
right?
So I think the loss of Jonathan Taylor hurts them coming down the stretch. But they're absolutely going to need Trevor back. I mean, teams are just gonna load the box against Travis Etienne, and it's gonna be so tough to get the ball downfield. Ridley hasn't been playing well with Trevor Lawrence, and then they just lost Kirk too. They're talking about Christian Kirk may be done for the year with having surgery. This was not a good weekend for the Jaguars as far as injury news.
Definitely a lose. I guess if you don't play Trevor Lawrence, the season may be a punt because Indy and Houston are right there. Both of them have, they're going to be trying to win, and Houston has a favorable schedule by far. But it may come down to Houston-Indy to end the year on who gets the division.
I want to throw out this. You say that Houston has a favorable schedule. Indy has a very easy schedule when you look at it in terms of at Cincinnati. Cincinnati doesn't have their quarterback, so all of a sudden that's a winnable game.
Hey, Jake Browning, don't sleep.
Then you get Pittsburgh. Once again, they're on their backup quarterback, and they can't score points. That's at Lucas Oil Stadium. Atlanta, that's a dumpster fire. Raiders, they might be playing golf. And then all of a sudden, you play Houston at Lucas Oil Stadium, and it's just all of a sudden you go, crap.
Wow. Welcome back to Indy.
On the table. It's not one of those things where you joke.
So I thought I'd throw this in there for fun just to poke the bear, but hypothetical, if there was an NFL playoff committee, would the Jaguars be automatically dropped from the top 7 in the AFC? In y'all's opinion?
No.
Without Trevor Lawrence.
You still have teams that can't score. Like Pittsburgh is in there. They can't score. Cleveland's in there. They can't score. There's just so many.
But out of the top 7,
so you're
they're in the top 7. I mean, even if the Indianapolis Colts with Gardner Minshew, I mean, that's why I say this. The Kansas City Chiefs are still my pick to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC just because they got Patrick Mahomes and he's still healthy. Everybody else is dropping like flies.
It's like every
Chris, but top 7 though, seriously, come on.
So you're saying Miami's up there, Kansas City,
Miami, Baltimore, Kansas City,
Houston, Indy. That's 5.
You have the Browns. They're 7-5.
And then the Steelers are 7-5 also, but I don't think I'd put them. I don't know if I guess I would put the Browns because of that defense.
Pickett's going to be back.
Do you put the Broncos and Bills ahead of them?
No.
I think
not
I would.
the Bills at this point, but I would even argue the Broncos, yes. And then I think people are they're dismissing the Bengals. I know it's not Burrow, but Cincinnati's defense is playing well.
Man, that AFC
and Jake Browning
is in the AFC South.
He's decent. He's not terrible like these other backup quarterbacks that we're talking about.
Yeah, right. It's a schedule for Cincinnati where it's like, can he handle going into Arrowhead and beating the Chiefs on the road? Can they go in and beat Baltimore again? It's like their schedule is In the
But I
ass.
mean, but CJ Beathard. I mean, if you're gonna without Lawrence, the Jaguars are not top 7 in the AFC. I'm sorry.
They're not for me either. Matter of fact, they might be number 10 for me. And that's I could probably make a case for 11.
Like CJ Beathard to me is just awful.
Same the same about Jake Browning, you know. So yet
He won a game though. He won a game
Oh,
against.
I did not say that about Jake Browning.
And I want why you say that. I want to ask this: who the hell thought Indianapolis would be 7-5 after
Nobody.
Rick went down? Yeah, so
Denver either. I didn't think Denver would be 6-6 right now with the way they started. This
I think Shane Steichen deserves a lot of credit,
he
especially
does.
with all the especially with all the Jonathan Taylor drama. But I just think they need Jonathan Taylor down the stretch, and I don't know if he's going to be back.
Let's move on to our final 2 topics here. Guys, I asked you to get me some fantasy football players to grab off waivers this week, some that you're targeting. I just need one name. One name, as the other segment took a little bit longer before we get to primetime pick 'em. Give me one player you're shooting for. I'll start this one off. Ezekiel Elliott. If you haven't heard the news, Ramondre Stevenson is hurt. He will be out for a few weeks with his injury. Zeke is the guy, and he's projected already to have 15 points this week. Zeke is the guy I would be targeting if he's on waivers. He's 53% available in most ESPN leagues, 64% of it. I'm sorry, 36% available in Yahoo leagues. Go check out to see if Zeke is on those waivers. Borak, do you have a player you would target this week off waivers?
I got a few, so let Chris go first, and I'll finish this out real quick.
Okay, Chris Connor.
I'm going to go with somebody who's been quickly rising up, Cortland Sutton. Look, Denver is going to need to pass the ball. Cortland's been pretty hot the last couple of weeks, getting anywhere between 14 to as low, to 8 points per week. It's not great, but they're playing a Chargers defense that's just hot garbage. So yeah, Cortland Sutton, he's available. He's only been picked up in like 54%, of the league. So he's a great steal, for a number 2 wide receiver, even a wide receiver, tight end, running back / because I think he's going to have a big day against the Chargers.
That's
all right, so
good choice. Go ahead, Borak.
So if you need QB help, and because QBs are dropping like flies right now with injuries, I've been posting Jake Browning, and I'm not joking. They're at home against the Colts. Colts secondary is not that great. They just barely snuck out a win against the Titans, and the Titans just lit them up in passing. Look for Jameis Winston if you need QB help as well. Derek Carr is going to be out this week. For running backs, Roshan Johnson, they were on a bye this week. Somebody may have dropped him. He's going to start getting more involved in the running game. And Derrick Henry's status is still unknown at this point. We don't know what's going on. They said he didn't have a concussion, but something's going on that held him out. So look for Tajay Spears. And I like your call on Zeke as well. Kenneth Gainwell is another name you want to look out for. I don't know about Swift's injury. They could hold him out for the Cowboys game. At receiver, with Tank Dell being gone, look for Noah Brown. If Noah Brown is on your waiver wire, you need to scoop him up right now because he's going to get a ton of targets to fill Tank Dell's void. And then for tight end help, look for Isaiah Likely with Mark Andrews still out. And then another name to keep an eye on is Conklin. He's not great, but he could help you in a bye week or if you need a replacement at tight end. And then a relatively unknown name, Brevin Jordan, tight end for the Texans. With Dalton Schultz being out with an injury, he's getting more and more touches. Actually had a really good game. I think it was 6 catches for 70 yards last game. And they got him more involved in the offense especially when Tank went down. And then if he happened to be dropped, Darren Waller. He's about 50% rostered right now. He's supposed to be back this week, coming back off the hamstring injury. See if he's out there. He could help you at tight end as well.
There you have it. Fantasy football players. Londo's trying to spell out Browning as we speak because he's going to go pick him up. Thank you. Thank you, Chris Connor. Last but not least, our final segment, Chris Connor's very own special segment, the flex on KC versus New England Monday Night Football. Chris Connor, talk to the masses why this is a big deal.
It is embarrassing when you think of it because, first off, The NFL is basically telling you, we think this game is going to stink. And yet, it's Patrick Mahomes who's must-see TV. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, all on Monday Night Football against the Patriots. And what's even worse is Robert Kraft's on the television committee. So you know there's a bit of embarrassment for him. And like, wow, we're getting flexed out and put on a 1 o'clock game. The Bears-Minnesota Vikings is still on for Monday Night Football. You had the Jaguars versus the Browns is still in Monday Night Football. I'm looking at, even there's other games you're looking going, holy crap, why is this game on? Why is, like this week's game, Monday Night Football is Giants versus Green Bay. They didn't flex that out. I mean, it's like, holy crap, what's going on? Tennessee and Miami.
There's 2 bad games. There's 2 bad games Monday night.
I know, and yet the league basically said, yeah, Patrick Mahomes against the Patriots, yeah, screw that. We're not putting it on Monday Night Football. But, Ernest, I know you're loving that because now all of a sudden your arch rival, your Philadelphia Eagles, had to go on to Seattle on Monday night. And that gives Seattle one more day to get Kenneth Walker, healthy. And it screws all those poor Philadelphia Eagles fans. So, I know you're loving this.
I'm just chilling, man.
He's loving it.
I got enough time to talk about Dallas in the next segment. So I do agree. I think the Patriot-Kansas City rivalry is kind of gone at this point. I don't think there is a case why New England's elite anymore whatsoever. Belichick's on the out. They can't find a quarterback. This whole push for who's America's team is gone. I think that's solely owned in Dallas again.
It's Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sorry. It's Kansas City now.
Oh, my gosh. Just because they're Swifties, get over it.
Well, that could be a case for Swifties.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't agree.
I'm scared a little bit. But
we don't want to offend any Swiftie fans or Swiftie sponsors out there.
I do love my Swiftie fans, so never mind. You guys are right. You guys control the nation. But
they do need to move Belichick to a front office position, and
we need to fire him. They need to clean house.
No, come on.
Yes, when you look at his draft record, when you look at everything, when you look at how he hates quarterbacks, he hates quarterbacks more than Ernest hates the Philadelphia Eagles.
What?
I mean, the dude did draft Tom Brady, didn't he?
He did. He'd be a great GM.
He also took Cam Newton over Tom Brady in the final year. That's all we need to know.
He's going to chase the head coaching wins record. I was talking about this with Frank Labuna earlier, and we both agreed a good trade back to Cleveland to his roots. Let him finish off there.
No, he's going to end up probably in like Carolina. Who wants Bill Belichick after a 2-15 season and ruining Mac Jones? I mean, he hates quarterbacks. As I said, there's a better chance of you, Ernest, wearing a Philadelphia Eagles jersey than Bill Belichick going out and developing a young quarterback.
He didn't ruin Mac Jones. Mac Jones is just bad.
Yeah, he is.
Put a defensive coordinator who's Matt Patricia as an offensive coordinator. That's ruining. That's like me basically, taking out a little puppy and lighting it on fire, going, "Oh, I didn't ruin it. No, I didn't."
Jesus.
What? Not that it's any better. Not that it's any better, but Bill O'Brien is the offensive coordinator now, which is not good.
Oh man,
that segment got away.
That is like violating a poor puppy. That's what they did to Mac Jones. Think of it. Look at that offense. I mean, who wants half those players? I mean, if basically the Patriots went to the Cowboys and said, "Hey, we'll trade you Juju Smith-Schuster for a 7th round pick," they'd still go hard pass.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I like your take on the trade, Ernest. I do think there's some teams out there that would give up some stock for Bill.
I think Amari Cooper for Bill Belichick sounds right. That's just
why that's ridiculous.
Ernest is trying to ruin a bunch
draft
of
picks. Oh, that's right. Cleveland doesn't have any draft picks because they gave them all to Houston.
That's right.
Yep.
For Deshaun Watson.
Massage that out. All right, guys. Our next round is going to be NFL Primetime. Way too early. Pick 'em. stick around. While you stick around, check out the BCMG stream team, still going large and charging on twitch.tv, Facebook Gaming, and Kick. Check it out right now.
Jill going down the hill, gonna go fetch Jack in his little pill. Jack feeling down and that's pretty bad. Let's go.
Oh, yo, clip that headshot.
No!
A pistol. What the? Okay, that didn't count.
Woo, let's go, baby, clutch it up. Yeah, I like it.
What? No way. Did that precision just kill me?
Let's go! Nice, Papa with the clutch kill at the end. Let's go.
Oh, I missed. That was bad.
Got him.
Nice.
Man, I'm going to go steal their shit.
That is definitely green.
You're dumb and it's orange.
We're both wrong, red.
I could get that solo if I tried it a couple times, but we'll come back to it.
I'm fucking dick right now. Holy shit. Like, I fucking suck right now.
Yeah, I can go.
Are we back on?
All right,
Londo,
so
the producer.
Basically we're doing the whole.
Hands are free.
Can you hear us now?
We can hear you now.
We can hear you now.
So we got the big games here. It's Pittsburgh, New England. God help us. This is torture. I hate the NFL. This will be like a 3-2 game. I'm pissed. I blame Ernest for this crap.
Most people fast forward to the
Wow.
40-minute mark to listen to Primetime Pick'em and all of our picks, and that's what they're going to get this week. It's just Chris Connor talking about how shitty Thursday Night Football is, just starting us off. Let's roll it, and let's start things off in Pittsburgh.
Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers 6-point favorites versus the New England Patriots, who have not given up more than 10 points in 4 weeks. Congrats to the defense. They also have not scored a point in 6 quarters. So congratulations to the the New England offense. Chris Borak, you get the call first on this one. Usually would be just Luke, but he's not here tonight. Talk to us.
This is an atrocious game, like a dumpster fire. Dude, I really wish Pickett was playing. Trubisky scares me. I feel like this is going to be a 3-0 game, kind of like last week with the Chargers and Patriots 6-0. I'm taking Pittsburgh to win 6-3. Pittsburgh to win 6-3. So give me the Steelers money line.
Steelers money line is the first pick on NFL Primetime. Way too early pick. Let's go over to Chris Connor.
Somewhere I can hear just Luke in tears, not because Mitch Trubisky is going to play, because he has to watch 4 effing quarters of Mitch Trubisky versus Bailey Zappi, and probably have to be sober the next day. Holy crap! I feel for you people in Pittsburgh. Trust me, I do. I'm going to be sober watching this game. Look, Patriots can't score. Pittsburgh at least will get like an interception, probably for a touchdown or something like that. So give me. I can't believe I'm saying this. 9-0 Pittsburgh on a touchdown in the safety. Oh God, I'm going to have to watch this game. Oh, I blame the NFL. I blame somebody because this is torture porn.
What?
What? What? What? What?
Somebody just turned off their radio. I'm gonna go ahead and we missed our cue first off. So let me go ahead and rewind to that and make sure we play. The first time in ITL history, a primetime pick'em game is a snoozer of the week. Never happened before. Did my research.
Nice.
We all
Najee Harris is hurt too.
we all
Popped
have
up on
to
the injury
watch.
report.
We all have to watch this damn game. There is no other NFL game on at this time. This to me should be the Monday night game because there's a second Monday night game. Like this is the one you hide behind another good game. And it's unfortunate they didn't flex this out. Yes, Pittsburgh money line is my pick for this. Pittsburgh money line is going on the BCMG guarantee reluctantly. I'm not picking New England, and it won't have a ton of value for you. So, Londo, you can cue the light. For those that are watching, right? But those fingers are waving like you just don't care. The BCMG guarantee, where you can get a guarantee. Steve, the General Reisner, will pay you back if you don't win our guarantee parlay. Pittsburgh money line is hitting this week, but don't watch it. Like, go enjoy the new release movies that are coming out. Go enjoy maybe the Doctor Who specials. Check your Bleacher Report app for the score.
Or go watch it if you want to have a nice nap, you know.
Or for fantasy purposes, maybe you have some of these players.
Hey, this should be a huge Jalen Warren game.
It should be. It should be. And Zeke will get his. So the running back should get their point values, in my opinion.
God. No, he's not.
I don't think
Have you
Zeke's
seen that
gonna
offensive
get
line, the
I think-
Patriots? Oh my God.
I think Zeke gets 20 carries. Like, I think they run him.
Oh no, I agree with that.
20 carries
but-
for 60 yards, no touchdowns. No, that's not good.
It's still going to be like the second highest fantasy value output in the whole
They won
field.
that game probably, but that's
Yeah.
not saying much.
But then again, if you're playing them, you don't really have much to say, right? Like, I got to play.
No, if you have him on your roster and you're there, you got to run with them.
We've all been there, right? We've all had that shit player that I got to watch him. I got to watch this guy play. I'm sorry. But let's move on to, well, I said the word shit, so let's move on. Trevor Lawrence not cleared to play this week, so he's still questionable. But I'm getting the finger wagging from Borak here for, I'm guessing, Cleveland. Is that called?
Yes.
Chris Connor is going to make sure before I ring it. Are we going Cleveland -3 all the way?
Yes, just because I have more faith in Myles Garrett, wrecking Jacksonville's offensive line than I do of Jacksonville putting points on the board. So, yes.
All right. Well, we're going to ring that light up because I am also Cleveland -3 on this one. Wave those fingers in the air. Wave them like you just don't care. That is a BCMG guarantee here. 2 in a row. And we're cooking with grease on here at this point. Cleveland -1.5, definitely because of the defense. Offense is going to be staggering quite a bit for Jacksonville right out of the gate. And we're going to have to go to our game of the week. Game of the week going to be featured this week in the beautiful city of Kansas City. Kansas City Chiefs, 2.5-point favorites versus the Buffalo Bills. We'll start this one off with you, Chris Connor. Who do you like?
Kansas City. Yeah, their wide receivers have been having more drops and, well, a drunken sailor. And yes, Patrick Mahomes wants to murder MVS, but they're still at home. The Bills are still a mess with everything. Their defense is still terrible. So give me the Chiefs.
Chiefs to win and cover are Chris Connor's
Chiefs
pick.
to win. Chiefs to cover. It's a low point spread for. It's only 2.5. Yeah, this is a steal.
Chris Borak.
Yeah, I never bet against Mahomes at Arrowhead. It's like a golden rule. I like the Chiefs to cover easily 2.5 points.
Kansas City -2.5 here. Londo.
Kansas City. Men to cover, yeah.
We are cooking here. Another option. I am going to save us from this. I'm going to take
Whoa.
Buffalo money line in
Come
this
on.
game.
No.
I'm taking Buffalo to win this game
They're not going to
in
win.
a must-win situation. I think they're the more desperate team on the road. Josh Allen has that 400-yard, 4-touchdown, 2-interception performance. They win this game. And Kansas City has been struggling. Like it's not a unknown fact that they've been struggling. Yeah, they've been a one drop here away from winning that game. And I mean, they look bad against Green Bay. So at Lambeau. And Buffalo has an extra week of rest. So they are going to come in fully prepared, fully rested, taking Buffalo money line. Londo, I'm so sorry. Who do you have in Cleveland, Jacksonville?
Cleveland.
And who do you have in Pittsburgh, New England?
Pittsburgh.
All right, we're good then. All right. There's no BCMG guarantee on this one. So we are going to go on to what we're calling on ITL the actual game of the week. Let's just be honest here. Woo! We're hyped up here in San Antonio, that's for sure. Dallas Cowboy football is upon us. Those America's team, Dallas Cowboys, 3.5-point favorites against the Philadelphia Eagles, city of brotherly love. I'm going to go last for sure here on this one. Chris Borak, who do you have?
Come on, guys.
No.
Ernest, this is the time I want to know about this Jalen Hurts leg injury. This information that you have. While you're digging that up, because I think it's false narrative put out there by the Cowboys. I think this is completely disrespectful. Dallas is favored by 3.5.
They are.
Like, come on. I feel like we're back at the beginning when the Cowboys were about to play the 49ers. And I think the exact same thing is going to happen here. The Cowboys are going to just fold playing to a more physical team. Eagles are going to run the ball. They're going to just dominate the offensive line. And the Cowboys are going to struggle because the Eagles aren't going to pass the football. They're going to run and run and run and run. And Dallas struggles with physical teams. This is what I've said from the beginning of the year before they played the 49ers.
Absolutely.
So give me the Eagles to win money line.
Philly money line is Chris Borak's statement. For some reason, he feels very confident about it. But Chris Connor.
I am sorry to do this to you, Ernest, but
You're not doing anything to me.
yes, I am, because this is going to be just a spanking. This is going to be the Eagles putting the Dallas Cowboys over the knee and spanking them like a bastard red-headed stepchild.
Oh.
Can we? I mean, did anybody forget? The Cardinals basically just punched the Cowboys in the face, and it was like, oh yeah, we can't stop the run. Eagles can run the ball, and they beat you up. And I'm sorry, this Cowboys team, I'm trying to believe in them, but every time they take on a physical team, they get slapped around and called Sally. So Eagles are going to do it this time again. They're pissed off. They're upset. They've been embarrassed by San Francisco, and so unfortunately, I hate to say it, Cowboys get spanked like a redhead bastard stepchild.
Dang, gosh,
Yikes. He's feeling very confident. You guys are very confident on this. I'm excited. Londo.
I'm taking Dallas, and I'm taking the cover.
I like that pick, Londo. I like that pick. Very straight.
Before we lock in the picks, can you talk a little bit about the injury news? Because I mean, that is going to change, of course, if Jalen Hurts is out.
So before I talk about Jalen Hurts and his injury, let's go ahead and talk about my pick because that's more.
Okay, got it.
So I'm obviously taking Dallas to cover this game for many reasons. And let me just be non-biased Cowboy news here. All right. Divisional matchups, home games go to the home team probably about 87% of the time. It's probably a high stat, but it's probably true. So at this point, it's a divisional game. We went to Philly and we lost by 5 points in a game where Dak and Dallas actually had the ball to win that game, and they couldn't finish that game. So Dallas at home is undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
They just coming off a game against Seattle in which they played pretty darn good on a comeback game. They teetered that game. So I'm be realistic, right? Like it wasn't perfect. and Philadelphia is coming off of a loss. They're going to have less time to rest. Dallas will have 10 days to rest. Dallas on turf plays as a much better team. They play 12 points better as a team on turf than they do on grass. And so you're going to take a team in Philly who has not been running the ball very well lately, who has a quarterback with a hobbled left leg, and a streaky wide receiver core. With some games they look like they're all Madden. Some games you're like, where'd they go? And a tight end that's questionable to play. Zach Ertz trying to make a comeback. You have a lot of questions in that Philly defense too. And Dallas has played all elite the last 5 games through November and through Seattle. I am going to take what I believe to be the better team this Sunday. Just on paper, a better team on Sunday. And I am taking Dallas. I might even take Dallas 6.5. I might even push that up. That's how confident I am in the Dallas Cowboys this week. My bias take is that Dallas wins 40-10 this week. But
oh my.
I'm gonna leave that in a box. All right, I'm gonna leave that in a box. I honestly don't even think Jalen Hurts finishes the game. I think he comes out of the game in the second quarter and doesn't come back.
Ernest is basically like Desmond Howard to the Dallas Cowboys. He will always take the Dallas Cowboys could play like the reincarnation of a greatest team ever with all the players like Tom Brady in their prime. You still go, yeah, I'm taking.
It's really funny because every point you guys make, there's a counterpoint for the Eagles. They lost to the Jets. Like, yeah, they lost to the Niners, but you're bringing up a game from week 3 or 4 for the Cowboys. They lost to the Jets week 6. Like, I
didn't bring up that game.
I know, yeah, but Chris Conner does, right, with the Cardinals. That's a grass field game. Dallas doesn't play great on grass. They don't play good against West Coast offenses like San Francisco and Arizona, and they didn't play well that game. Like that, and it was away. They're at home against the Eagles on turf. You're gonna watch a different pace, and Dallas is gonna jump to a lead, and Dallas is gonna win this game handedly. We will come back on this show on Tuesday, and I am going to just smile. I'm going to be very annoying. So, like, it's going to happen. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, I would put any amount down. And if you're watching and you're in the comments and you want to make that bet, put your amount down. Like, they are going to win this week. So,
you brought up some great statistics. So good job there. The one statistic you didn't mention is the Cowboys have beaten one team with a winning record all year.
They don't make the schedule, correct?
No. And that offensive line for Philadelphia, there are no injuries.
Don't care.
So I would care because controlling the clock the entire game is going to be the downfall of the Cowboys.
DeAndre Swift has not looked like DeAndre Swift since week 4. They don't use Kenneth Gainwell. Their only running back is their quarterback who is not running.
For your sake, Ernest, I hope they do win.
It's not my sake. I don't control any interest or ownership in the team. I'm just saying from a
No. But I know you're going to be demoralized if this does come to fruition.
Honestly, if we lose to Philly, oh well, we get another crack at them in the playoffs, hopefully. And it's the truth. It's the truth. I'm not even like you can't even tell me that's the real deal.
Like the Cowboys need this game. They do.
It's not going to be a shellacking. Like
no, I don't. I think it's going to be a good game.
You guys can't act like it's going to be the San Francisco game because San Francisco just did what San Francisco did to Dallas to Philly in Philly. Yes, we lost 42-10 to San Francisco in San Francisco. They lost 42-19 in Philly. Dallas would never let that happen.
Stop.
There was an illegal clock runoff with Dak Prescott in the playoffs 3 years ago with the same.
Okay, now you're digging deep.
What's that thing Ernest does?
2 years ago,
a fraud. That is the Cowboys. I'm sorry, they don't do well against winning teams. They are the ultimate front runner, where they get a big lead and then they just steamroll. When it gets close, they fold.
I think this is going to be a very close game. I think the Cowboys could win this game. I just believe that the reason why I picked the Eagles. We're spending so much time on this game, but I just believe that the Eagles are going to control the clock, and that's going to be the downfall of the Cowboys. If the Cowboys are going to win this game, Dak's going to have to show up. He's going to have to throw for 375, and not have any turnovers. Because if he does, it's going to be a long day for the Cowboys.
You guys are far from Cowboy haters. I don't consider you guys Cowboys haters, but Cowboys haters will cry when they're tied for first in the division come Monday morning. All right, here we go.
All right, so our next game of the week is the New York Giants versus Green Bay, a double Monday nighter, and they give us. Oh God, I am. So let's start with you, Borak. Giants versus Green Bay. Why is this game happening for a doubleheader, and who do you like versus the G-Men and Jordan Love and the Packers at 6.5?
Why wouldn't you have Tommy DeVito and Jordan Love on Monday Night Football? I mean, that's what everybody wants to see, right? I mean, I love the Packers money line. I'm not gonna touch the 6.5, because I do think the Giants are gonna actually try this game and play hard. And I don't believe in Jordan Love. I know he had a great game against Kansas City, and I know he's been playing well of late. But I don't trust him to cover 6.5 points. So give me the Packers money line.
All right. Well, hopefully, Ernest, are you back here, or is there still technical difficulties? We still have difficulties. I'm going.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going with the Packers at 6.5. They play different in Green Bay, and the Giants. Look, I give Brian Daboll credit. He has kept that team fighting, even though at one point they were 2-8 and just terrible. But you look at the last couple of games, and they scored 17. 19, 10. I know they have the bye, but there's just no weapons. And Saquon Barkley, that offensive line just can't gel. I think this is going to be a game where it gets pretty ugly pretty quickly, just because Green Bay, their defense can get after the Giants, and the Giants really can't.
You guys hear me?
Score. Yep, we can hear you now, Ernest.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chris. I could see this getting out of hand. The Giants' offensive line is really bad. I feel bad for Saquon. If I was Saquon, I would just sit out. I would find a reason to just wait and become a free agent and get out of there.
Yeah, for me, it's Green Bay spread. I think Green Bay runs away with this game personally. And I'll flex money line to the guarantee, but I think Green Bay is just overall the complete team, and they're trying to get into the playoffs and solidify their spot. So I'm taking Green Bay in a must-win game. Londo.
Green Bay.
You got Green Bay too. So wave those fingers in there. Wave them like you just don't care. Monday Night Football, hidden Monday Night Football on your books going in there. Green Bay money line going on the ticket. And that takes us to our final primetime pick'em game. That's right. We do have 6 this week to the Monday Night Football game that is being showcased in front of the New York game. Woo!
All right, so we got once again Miami versus Tennessee, and let's start off here with. I feel so bad for, unfortunately, Mike Vrabel. It's like the South Park episode where Stan's dad buys a Blockbuster, and everybody's looking, going, "But we stream," and he's going, "No, Blockbuster still the whole thing." That's Vrabel going, "No, defense and running backs and running game still wins games." It's a different league, and I think this is going to be a really ugly game where the Dolphins just start running away, and Vrabel starts just like losing stuff and throwing stuff on the ground, going, "Okay, how the hell do I get out Tennessee?" So give me Dolphins with the money, just because, God, Tennessee's terrible.
It's 13.5. Is that what it's at?
Yeah.
Good God, that's a lot of points. I mean, these are NFL teams. Like, I understand.
Are we really sure?
I understand Tennessee's bad, but
You mean you're not 20?
13.5. Oh, I just don't know. How is Tyreek Hill not giving more love for MVP? Like, that dude is going to hit 2,000 yards receiving, and that is absolutely ridiculous. I'm taking Miami all the way. I just can't get my mind around them covering 13.5 points on Monday Night Football. I think Vrabel will at least have his team competing. And 14 points is a lot in the NFL. So give me Dolphins money line.
Dolphins have 2 picks there. Londo.
Yeah, give me Miami.
With the points?
Yeah, with the points.
All right. That means you're putting me on the hot seat here. I got to admit, I like Tennessee in this game. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Miami to win this and cover -13 and put it on the BCMG guarantee. Miami is just a juggernaut. And at home, I would take Miami. Are we good with Miami 6.5 for cover?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
6.5, yeah.
Miami 9.
Well, I'd even go I go 10. I mean,
I would go
Tennessee
9.5.
score?
Okay, I'm gonna do 9.5 because I feel safe at 9.5.
Yeah,
Makes
I do
me feel
too.
like I can go to bed. I feel good there. All right, Miami -9.5. Go on the BCMG guarantee for a lack of audio coverage. We're just gonna put your fingers in there, wave them like you just don't care, and get rid of the sound. That's gonna take us right into fire round picks. So let's change the screen up. No intro for audio purposes. Let's get fun into this. Chicago versus Detroit is the first one. Londo.
Chicago.
Chicago, the first big Borak.
Lions. Come on. Sorry, Londo.
Chris Connor.
Lions. Londo, you're going down with the ship, and I appreciate that. But this is a Titanic, and the Lions are the iceberg.
All right, I'll take that.
I don't know, Londo. I'm almost feeling Chicago too, man.
Come on, man. Join my quartet as we sink to the
Do it.
sea.
Do it.
Oh, man. I'm tied with Borak for first and pick 'em right now. I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah, you can. Do it.
That's why he's egging you on.
No, I'm going
I
to.
mean, the spread is only 3.
Oh, man, it's so tempting. You know what? I am. I'm going to
There
take
we
Chicago.
go.
I'm taking Chicago at home.
Y'all coming with me.
My gut says go Chicago.
Yeah, I like
My
that.
gut says go Chicago. So Chicago's going to win this one. They're making a run for the playoffs too.
Oh, yeah.
All right, next one. Jets versus Texans. Borak.
Come on, Texans. CJ Stroud's going to eat. I don't care how good the defense is in New York.
You think they'll cover that spread?
It's 5.5.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yep, Houston 5.5.
Look at the bettors giving Houston some love. Yeah, I like the spread. I just don't see how New York's going to put up points. That's the problem.
That's my thoughts.
And I think the New York defense we're spending way too much time on fire out, but
yes.
I think the Jets are going to give Stroud a challenge, but at the end of the day, he's just going to keep throwing, and he's going to have a huge day.
Where are you at, Chris Connor? Because we have 3 Houston picks, I think, for Londo as well.
Yep, Houston.
Jets, Jets. Take it with Jets.
Wow.
Have we forgotten? I just want you guys are booing me. I can hear the Texans' hatred, but they lost to Carolina. You keep saying, I can't see how they're going to score points and how the Jets can't win this game. Carolina scored 15 points against the Texans and held CJ Stroud with Tank Dell healthy to 13.
What did the Jets do against Denver? Did they beat them?
Yes, they did, I think. Yeah, so
yeah.
I'm telling you, this is going to happen. It's the Jets are going to do a jet-like thing. They're going to pull it off, and unfortunately, I will be drinking earnest tears come next Tuesday as his Cowboys and Texans both lose.
Oh my gosh, if I could mute you, I would. Let's move on. Atlanta versus Tampa Bay. It's Chris Connor. You can start us off with this one.
Oh God, that's on TV. Also, I hate the NFL. They're putting all these crappy games, making us watch. It's literally a coin flip. I'm going Tampa Bay, but I don't feel great about it. It's a pick. To me, it's a pick 'em.
Chris Borak.
we're on week 14, and I have yet to pick a single Falcons game correctly, which is unbelievable. So if you're listening to this or watching,
Go opposite.
whatever I pick in this game, go opposite because it's a sure thing. I am going to reluctantly go the Falcons at home, and I do not feel good about it at all.
Yikes. Londo.
I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay.
I'm going Tampa also just because of what Borak said.
Exactly.
I'm not even going to attempt that. Cincinnati
Yeah,
versus
it's smart.
Cincinnati versus Indy in a toss-up. Indy -1 in this spread. Borak.
I'm going Jake Browning at home.
I thought you would. That's why I started.
Yeah, I like the Bengals at home here.
I like the Bengals at home as well. Londo.
Cincy.
We are all Cincy so far. Go ahead, Chris Connor. I know you're doing it.
I'm going to Colts. I mean, they're
I
7-5. We keep saying, "Oh, the Colts are going to come back to earth. The Colts are going to lose again." And look, give Stain Seichin Coach of the Year because Gardner Minshew and Minshew Mania is running wild.
Stop it.
Too much. It's either
Too much.
How is it too much? Would you
Detroit
say
or
that the Colts should have won 7 games this year? You guys would have left your rear ends off and said I was a fraud. And yet
If
they
we
won
would have said
7
the
games.
Texans win
No.
7 games this year, we would have said
Hold on. I probably had Indy at 7 with the rookie quarterback and Jonathan Taylor. Not with this team. Not with this team, but Indy probably had a projection around 7 to start the year.
Yeah, they did.
7 or 8. I'd have
They
to
were predicted as a wild card contender and competing with the Jaguars for division.
Yeah. It definitely wasn't Tennessee and Houston. Like Houston's way above their head right now.
Facts, yeah.
Except for here on ITL because we said they'd make the playoffs and win the division. Yeah, we're just biased. That's the whole difference.
Yeah, nobody believed us, but
Nobody listened to us. Let's move on. New Orleans versus Carolina before I start crying. I'm gonna take New Orleans in this game. I think New Orleans in the Superdome is a whole thing. Even with Jameis Winston, he is the teammate you want, the guy who pats you on the back, the guy who runs with the crab. I'm gonna take him. New Orleans. Londo.
Yeah, give me New Orleans to cover.
2 New Orleans picks. Borak.
yeah, give me the Saints at home. I see Winston checking down to Kamara a ton.
Yep. I got 3 no-no-nos. Are we going full nose here? Chris Connor.
No, I'm going Carolina. I can't trust Jameis Winston. He will make those, cross the body throw, interception by Carolina, and you look and go, God damn it, Jameis. What are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, $1 million arm, 10-cent brain. So yeah, give me Carolina.
You know you've lost every time you pick Carolina, right?
Carolina, twice it's it. I'm 1-1 with Carolina, so it's not like I picked them every week. So I'm 1-1. Who knows?
I think
we'll check that.
We need to check that because I think you pick Carolina every week.
Yeah, I'm gonna go into the history books here, but we'll go on. We'll go on. Baltimore versus Rams. Baltimore versus LA Rams. In what's probably gonna be a really good game. We've got the finger waving already for Baltimore. I'm guessing here. Anybody picking the Rams?
Come on.
No.
Okay. Yeah, we're all saying here. Baltimore,
Coming off the bye week too. Come on.
Baltimore's going on our BCMG guarantee. Are we good at 7, or do we want to flex to 6.5?
6.5.
7.
6.5.
All right, we'll do 6.5 because that's what the lowest person is good with, or else I would be good at 7 too. We are going to move on to San Francisco. San Francisco versus Seattle. Well, do we have anybody picking Seattle?
Not on the road, no. I understand they beat them at home, but I expect the 49ers to give some payback.
The spread is nasty. The
10.5 right now?
10.5 still, yeah.
Wow.
That's a big spread. I don't like that. But I would be good San Francisco 6.5.
Yep.
Ooh, Borak doesn't like that either. Are we good San Francisco money line then?
No, I'm good 6.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good 6.5 also.
All right. Wave your fingers in there, waving like you just don't care. That's a BCMG guarantee added on there. We'll do a full review of that guarantee when we do our sign-off, see if we can get some odds for you guys. Thank you for sticking around. Our last 3 games are coming up, or our last 2 games are coming up right here. Vegas versus Minnesota Vikings. We start this one off. Minnesota 3-point favorites on the road. Hondo playing with the COVID lights. Borak, who do you have?
Oh man, this is just another toss-up game. And to me, I don't know what the Vikings are going to do with Dobbs. I'm hearing a lot of rumors that they may let Mullins play, and that scares me. So give me Las Vegas in this game.
Lado.
I'll take Minnesota.
Minnesota is the pick there. Chris Connor.
God, this game sucks.
Yeah, this game's bad.
I mean, it's basically picking Aiden O'Connell, who sometimes looks like a deer within the headlights, or Joshua Dobbs, who the smartest guy who plays like an idiot. Give me Minnesota just because Justin Jefferson will be back, and I think O'Connell's just a better coach, and he'll find a way to coach his team to a win.
I'm going to take Minnie as well, especially if Jefferson plays. If Jefferson leaves the game, sorry for my wrong pick, but I'll take Minnie and the better player. Sorry about that. That goes to our final game, which I think is going to be a really good football game. And if you want to watch just smash mouth, a couple of teams that hate each other, Chargers, Broncos are the last game we're going to do toss up here for. I think this is going to be a really, really good game. Chargers desperate, Denver desperate, divisional game in Los Angeles where Chargers play relatively better. We'll go around the room top to bottom. So Chris Connor.
I refuse principle to ever, unless it's against the Patriots, pick the Chargers. I'm going Broncos.
There we go.
They could have had Sean Payton. The Chargers and every Justin Herbert must look at this game and go, "Oh God, I'm with stupid." Brandon Staley. I could have had Sean Payton, but no, I'm with stupid.
He's got with stupid shirt on.
Dang. That's mean. Denver gets the first pick. Borak.
It's interesting. Like,
it's gonna be a good game.
Do you really think it's gonna be a good game?
I do. I do. I think this might be one of the top games. It might be a top 3 game of the week.
Man, so I'm all over Denver in this game. I think Denver's been playing well. Their defense has really picked up as of late. I just don't see the Chargers their run game has been atrocious this year, which has really hurt them.
Right.
And I think that's gonna be a problem in this game. And I like Denver to pull this one out. So give me Denver.
We got 2 Denver picks going to Londo.
Yeah, give me the Broncos.
3 Denver picks going to me. I really think this is going to be a fantastic football game, and a game where Denver's going to need to score more than 24 points. And I don't know if Russell Wilson can cook enough and if they trust him enough for that to happen in this game. But if Denver doesn't win this game, they don't make the playoffs.
That's also true.
So will that Denver defense step up for a divisional game? I know this is fire round, but I just had to give my context to this pick. I'm going to choose Denver as well.
Nice.
I am taking that. So we are going to put him on the BCMG guarantee only money line because I don't trust anything else, right, on this. And Chargers are favored by 2.5 in this game. So
yeah, I was going to say you might as well take 2.5.
So taking Denver in this game. This is going to be. I know Borak not sold on it, but I do think desperation for the Chargers. They can chase that 7 seed if Buffalo loses and they beat Denver. They're in the playoffs. That's huge for Staley. Like that's career saving to make the playoffs.
I just don't see Staley being that capable of being able to coach his team up. And I do think Russell Wilson has played better the last 3 to 4 weeks. And I think they can put up that many points. They've been letting Russell run the ball more, which I think has really taken that offense to another level.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
That is lost to New England. They nearly lost to New England. No.
Okay, you just keep bringing up everybody's worst loss.
I know, man.
like one game.
It's the Chargers, though. They find ways to, to steal victory from a jaws defeat. They find ways to lose. This is a bad team with a bad coach. No.
I don't know about bad team, but
yes, they are a bad team.
I think it's a
Well,
little.
That
Oh
is
my.
tonight's Pick'em segment. I hope you enjoyed it. The debate was great. I think the college football playoffs are going to be very interesting. New Year's Day, check those out for your games this week. We have the BCMG parlay going. I'm going to calculate those odds since Kenny Cotterill is not on tonight's show. But let's do sign-offs. Chris Connor, take your time. Let people know where they can find your latest content and what you have going on.
You can check me out on thelastcallpodcast.com. As I said, big shout out once again to my last guest who you can hear recently, Chris Carlson, that we talked David Benavidez win this upcoming this Friday night. It's Haney versus Regis Prograis. Sorry, Saturday night on pay-per-view. And we're going to have some big guests coming up next couple weeks. Once again, it's lastcallpodcast.com. You can check me out on Twitter, on Facebook also, and Instagram. It's, once again, Last Call Chris C. or Last Call Podcast.
Thanks
and
a lot,
Ernest always loved being on the show. And I'm actually rooting, I can't believe I'm saying this, for the Texas Longhorns to win the whole thing.
Oh, okay. I'm good with that. Yeah. No, absolutely. You should be rooting for them. That's the right call on the last call. Good job, Chris. Chris Borek is also on the call here. Chris Borek, tell people where they can find you.
You can find me on X at Clutch City 52. If you guys have any more fantasy football questions, hit me up on Twitter. I'm glad to respond and answer. And go Huskies.
Oh my gosh. Really? Not even going to go for the Texas team?
I can't do it. Sorry.
Oh my God. Now, what if they beat the Huskies? Are you all in against them against Bama or Michigan?
I just won't watch.
Yikes. Come on, man. Come on, Londo, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me right here in the beautiful San Antonio studio with Ernesto Silva.
Any time of the day.
Any time of the day,
here.
every day. Now you can find me on Twitter, Londo4292. And yeah, it's great being on.
All right, officially, I'm your host, Ernest Silva. Very glad you guys joined us today. If you fast forward to 40-minute mark, you still got 40 minutes worth of content on our debates on the games. Really appreciate all the love, all of the help, and all of the support as we transition going into the new year. The Sport Gene Network is going to be phenomenal. We're excited for what's happening with that. And ITL is going to be a huge proponent of that. If you're following along with tonight's show, let's recap our BCMG guarantee. Pittsburgh Steelers money line, Cleveland Browns -3, Green Bay Packers money line, Miami Dolphins -9.5, Baltimore Ravens -6.5, San Francisco 49ers -6.5, and the Denver Broncos money line. That comes out to 36-1 on the BCMG guarantee parlay. That could solve a lot of your holiday needs this season. Go put your money on that. Londo just told me he's putting 150 on that right now. Londo's on it right now. Good luck.
Londo.
Londo's rolling right now. And
Santa.
Yeah, Santa, that Santa hat and everything. Again, guys, thank you so much. Tonight's episode brought to you by the wonderful Taquito Express. Use code BCMG or ITL. When you go get your all-you-can-eat tacos, $8.99, you get 10% off. Thank you guys so much for being on tonight's episode. Appreciate much the sports scientists on tonight's call. Have a good night, guys, and